freeing ourselves economically, go ahead and freeing our minds and actually putting forth and setting into motion some of the things that we and some of the actions that we should be taking to move us forward as a people.
Be anywhere, but when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am
a social, economic, and social political to a particular extent movement, but more so than that, like the Black Panthers, like they represented all of the freedom and goodwill of Black people, period.
One of the lies that we tell ourselves is that we are making progress. We tend to equate progress with concessions. We can no longer make that mistake. See, it's no in between. You're either free or you're a slave. There's no such thing as second-class citizenship. But a lot of you running around talking about you Democrats, and the Democrats got you in the biggest trick going. When Black people become serious about the revolutionary struggle that they are caught up in, whether they recognize it or not, when they begin to go down and knock off people who are oppressing them, that's when the revolutionary struggle unfolds. Not until.
Welcome to an episode of Power to the Panthers podcast, where we're here to educate, regulate, and demonstrate. Educate the youth, regulate the truth, and demonstrate the proof. And today, family, I have a very special guest with me, as I always do. But, you know, me and my brother, we go back maybe 5-10 years now. Me and my brother, we first started working because he was doing a clothing line and he had a logo. And I was, you know, at the time I was making my own clothing. And then so I was able to work with my brother. We did some pieces of, I think it wasn't clothing, it was hats more in particular. We was, you know, working on that. So just starting off with me and my brother Prince Wise's relationship, we, you know, been out here working, been out here grinding. Business is, you know, first. And then my brother showed me his music. And then I was like, yeah, my brother, you definitely headed in the right direction with the revolutionary concepts. So family, my brother here, he's an artist. He does a multitude of art. So family, my brother Prince Wise, just break down to the family real quick your background.
Oh yeah, no doubt, bro. I appreciate you having me on again, man. Like this is
Yes.
really, really dope opportunity. Like super glad that you got me on here and that you was able to reach out to me in this fashion, man. So, you know, just you know what I mean, like short story, I mean long story, less long, right? My background, pretty much, you know, I'm a hip hop artist. I've been doing this for about 18 years now. And you know, I've grown. A lot of people know me in the city and in the Bronx by Noah Vincent or Prince Wiser, either or really. Noah Vincent is my real name, but I started off rapping under, you know, my real name. And you know, I made a name for myself here in the city to a particular extent. You know, I've worked with tons of artists in and out of the industry. You know, couple up and comers right now. I got a record out with Skyzoo, which is pretty dope. But up and comers, you know, people that's in and out and from all walks of life, you know what I'm saying? And I've been an independent artist again about 18 years now, and right now everything's good, man. I'm enjoying being an indie artist and supporting myself and my music. I mentor other artists as well, so everything's going smooth, man. I got about 3-4 albums out now. I also do ghostwriting for other artists as well, so that's my life as a hip hop artist and as a writer.
Yes, most definitely. And just the multitude of ranges that a person's able to have, because, you know, growing up, coming up, you know, wanting to be just a rap artist, you know, that's that's just everybody's dream of wanting to have that, you know, notoriety. But it's all the other things that come with it that, you know, really bring that money in. And really, you know, especially if you have a multitude and you have a multitude of ranges of, you know, getting yourself out there. Marketing is the key, especially nowadays, especially with being independent artists.
Oh yeah,
most definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. It's all about taking what it is that you've earned and investing in yourself and putting that into like advertisements, marketing yourself, promoting yourself. And a lot of people say marketing and promotion, but don't really actually even know what it is that entails. And, you know, I go out of my way for the artists that I go ahead and mentor to be able to explain to them in depth and in great detail what it is that actually means and where it is that you should actually place your money versus where it is that it's not necessarily worth it for you to be able to place, you know, place your funds. You know what I'm saying? So that type of thing is, you know, I have a strong emphasis and a strong background with that as well. And I like to, you know, just, you know, pass on the knowledge that I received. Call myself Prince Wiser. That's that's the reason for it. You know what I mean? To be able to spread knowledge and spread wisdom. And much of that is reflected in my message when I go ahead and do my music.
being a black man, understanding black politics, understanding black revolution,
Yeah.
what do the Black Panthers represent to you?
hmm Well, to me, even when you say the word Black Panthers, like I just think about, it was a social, economic, and social political to a particular extent movement, but more so than that, like the Black Panthers, like they represented uh uh all of the freedom and goodwill of Black people, period. You know what I'm saying? Like we all were kind of just in alignment with that as well. And they demonstrated what it means to naturally, like, for us to be in our element, you know what I'm saying, how we should be living as Black people, what stance we should be taking as far as like freeing ourselves economically, go ahead and freeing our minds, and actually putting forth and setting into motion some of the things that we and some of the actions that we should be taking to move us forward as a people. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just about togetherness. It's really just about culture, understanding what it is that we need to be, you know, uh, doing in order to economically improve our position in America, you know what I'm saying, of the system of white supremacy. So that's really what that shit is about.
Just the revolution never stops, as you know. So, the
Mm-hmm.
revolution, especially with you doing music and then just, the evolution of hip hop and how where we're seeing the direction is going now, but where it actually started and how it started in the streets, the conscious brothers, the conscious sisters were coming together and, trying to uplift the community, trying to
Yeah,
get away from the street life. But now it seems that they figured out to way to promote them for young Black youth to go in the prison system so they can be a product of their environment. They've now used the same music that took us out the streets and become those revolutionaries. They've now twisted it so we don't, they steer us to not become those revolutionaries and to
yeah,
become, more so a statistic in our society. So from that perspective, especially growing up, being from New York, that's the mecca of hip hop, as we all know. Being a
no
Black
doubt.
American, as we all know, that's where the construct comes from. What is your definition of hip hop?
Yeah. My definition of hip hop is really just that. You know what I'm saying? My definition of hip hop is talking to the people on a level in which they understand and being able to meet with them at the grassroots level and really just tackling our issues and speaking about what it is that is actually like important to us. You know what I mean? And not letting other people dictate what it is that they think we should be talking about. That's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't talk about anything in my rhymes that people think I should be talking about. I talk about the issues that are important to us. I talk about reparations. I talk about us getting where it is that we need to go in life. I talk about us having economic freedom and empowerment. I talk about Black empowerment. I talk about the brotherhood and the sisterhood. I talk about the Black man and the Black woman and the Black family. Like, these are the things that I talk about in my music. So that's really what hip hop to me means. That's what it means for me. And just getting back to the essence and the root of hip hop, talking about things that are going on in the streets, happening in our neighborhoods, happening around the world in terms of the people that created it. That's what hip hop means to me. That's what it means to me when people say, "Oh, we need to get back to the essence." The essence is from the soul, and that's what it is that I do.
Being where you're at right now, going through life, seeing all the things that you've seen, just if you could bring it back, rewind for the people a little bit, your upbringing. How
Yeah.
did your upbringing shape you to become the musician?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think that like you know, my upbringing kind of it shaped me to be a musician because I like many kids like in the inner city, especially many Black kids in the inner city, they didn't really necessarily know what they wanted to do or what they wanted to be when they grew up. They had influences, but only to a particular extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up primarily with my mom's. Not that my father wasn't around; he was around, but he didn't live in the same household with me, and there's definitely a difference there. But the bottom line is like my upbringing. I was in the street and I was out the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, I dabbled kind of like in both worlds to a particular extent, and I was able to kind of just speak to my experiences. And, I had other influences, hip hop influences, like, anything that I pick up hip hop wise, Nas, Eminem, Jay-Z, like these were people at the time, they were speaking their experience, they were speaking to the street, and they were speaking their own, separate experiences. And I just adapted that. You know what I'm saying? I just adapted that and I learned from it. And then I learned how to look out of my window and talk about what it was that was going on in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So that's really how it started. And, it started in the form of like just my fascination with words, like reading the dictionary. It started with a spelling bee. Then it started and escalated into me doing poetry. And then it escalated even further after that. So that's really how all of that came to be. But I think that, my environment currently definitely plays an important factor in the music and the content that I create. And that's why you get it how you get it. You get it raw. It's unfiltered. It's uncut. Damn if it's what people call commercial. It's from the soul. It's from the heart. It's what's going on in my reality.
Facts, no doubt, no doubt. And that's just, the perspective that, us as Black men, and especially when we're younger and we're coming up, looking for where we need to go in life. But it's just, it becomes a beautiful understanding when a person like yourself can take all of that and then transform that into a revolution, So taking all of that information, but incorporating and understanding that, like you're saying, the essence, talking to the people, that was the when we look at the civil rights era and we look at the Black Power movement and we look at all of the different facets in our history as it relates to the uplifting, the uprising of our people, we see that from all different angles. Did hip hop revolutionize your thought process, or did your thought process revolutionize the way you approach music?
I think my thought process revolutionized the way that I approach music. And I think that, at first I was doing music just to be popular, just to be kind of heard. I had a lot to say, but I didn't necessarily know how to frame it in a way that was digestible to the people. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know how to actually put all of that in rhyme and and to be able to say what it is that I needed to say and what I wanted to say in music form. You know what I mean? And I think that my thought process just me learning and reading and writing and studying and learning about the history of our people, learning from people like your father, Dr. Collins, learning from, all of you guys and learning from my experience in life as a Black American here on this soil. All of that revolutionized the way that I approach my music. And I said, damn, this needs to be heard in a form that is digestible. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to say that those forms aren't digestible, but the music, it needs to resonate with people on that frequency. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a frequency untapped here and there's a lot that needs to be said, but the people have to, they have to hear it at this level, at this frequency, in this way. And they kind of just like, I thank all of y'all, you know what I'm saying? I thank you, my brother, because you guys kind of shape shifted the way that I approach some of this. You know what I mean?
Yep, yeah, that's how we got to work. Definitely in a brotherhood, it's always about coming together. And too many times, especially if we analyze history and we really look at history and we understand that a lot of times it's things such as ego that gets in the way of the process. Even when we look at Western civilization, we could look at the immediate result of the reason why we were infiltrated is because we were fighting amongst each other. Because when we have our unity, it's unbreakable. They can't do nothing when we have our unity. That's why they use the oldest trick in the book has been the divide and conquer technique. They've always used that. And then now what they're doing is that they're using, let's say, people of color or people outside of the Black American. They're using those individuals to kind of stay just a little bit above the Black American to kind of give them, a reason for us to always have to fight with people that, so closely look like us. Might not be exactly who we are as it relates to Black American, but when we look at all the other groups, the immigrant groups that they're bringing over, they're not white people, so to speak, but they are being plugged in and used as a white, class system for the vote, for a lot of other reasons, to continue for us to keep fighting amongst each other. And that's why they allow certain people over and they won't allow the real revolutionaries over. Because when we're talking about revolution, they don't allow the revolutionaries from Africa to come over here.
They definitely don't.
They allow the ones that they know that are probably going to be like, oh, screw those people, because of the thought process that they give these people, because they pick and choose. The white folks over there who dominate, they pick and choose who they allow over here. And they don't allow revolutionary ones. It's a much drawn out process,
Facts. You said it, bro. That is exactly that. It's exactly that, man. And they know who to choose. They know, who's going say yes and, tap dance and play along with the game and go by the status quo. Like, they know. So, hey, man, you're definitely right, man. You hit the nail on the head with that one.
When we look at revolution and we look at there's a lot of things that come with revolution. When Huey Newton was writing his the book that he has, his autobiography, Revolutionary Suicide, do you believe that revolutionary suicide, from your perspective, what do you think of when you think of that?
Revolutionary suicide, what comes to mind is literally, in the words of Malcolm X, man, like, by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what revolutionary suicide means to me. They all speak in the same language, bro. Like, it just means by any means necessary, revolution by any means necessary, and standing up for what it is that you believe in, even if you got to die for it. If that's the hill that you literally got to die on, and that's the hill you got to die on, man. And that's really what it is to me. Really just, being 10 toes down.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Because as we see, a lot of our revolutionaries, like even Fred Hampton, like one of his most famous quotes: "You can kill a revolutionary, but you will never kill the revolution." So,
right.
As we see in 2024, the amount of people that we've lost in the struggle for Black rights and our progress, regardless of who we lost, we still remember them as icons, and we're still holding on to what they their blueprint, what they laid out for us, and we're continuing their legacies, even in just this podcast that we're doing, even just how I'm doing as Power to the Panthers, doing it in homage to all our ancestors, especially the Black Panthers that we no longer have here anymore. We do it for them, because without them, we wouldn't have a shoulder, to be able to be lifted, to be able to do this type of work. And the struggle continues until we get fully emancipated and we get everything that's owed to us: reparations, education, land, labor, all of the different 9 people areas that Neely Fuller Jr. talks about. So everything that comes into all of those things is definitely required from our people. So that's just how we got to do it with the Power to the Panthers.
That's it, man. Listen, mad love to you, mad peace and respect to you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad that we were able to come together, and I'm super duper excited to get to work on this project with you, man. And man, peace to all of our ancestors, man. Real talk, peace to all of the the teachers, the mothers, and the fathers that were able to teach us about where it is that we came from, and teach us and continue to expound upon some of the information that we already have, and just broaden our minds and get us to see ourselves in a different light. So I just want to say thank y'all.
No doubt, no doubt. So, my brother, is there anything before we go? Is there any gems, any information that you want to leave on the people?
The only thing I got to say is, if you know, that's number 1. And number 2, never give up, man. That's the only message I got. Never give up, man. Never give up.
Much respect. So, my brother, is there anywhere people can find your music, any websites, social media handles?
Oh yeah. You can definitely check out some of my work. I'm on Instagram at Prince Wiser Official. That's PrinceWiser. So that's Prince Wiser Official. On my Instagram, you can hit me up anytime. Definitely reach out to me. Definitely go ahead, check out some of my work. Check out my good brother's work as well. And yo, man, like, just stay tapped in, stay connected. You already know. Be one to the fullest all day, every day. Hit me up.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, my brother. Yes. My brother, I appreciate your time once again.
No doubt.
Definitely a blessing coming on my platform. And it's all power to the Panthers, because that's the revolution. That's the what we living in right now, my brother. Family, stay strong, stay black. All power to the Panthers. Huey, take us away.
What do you think you did accomplish? The results will have to be measured in the future. And we issued a petition, the intended visit of Richard Nixon would tell the story. The results you can get from Richard Nixon, the murderer, or else you can do as we did. You can go directly to Mao Zedong himself and the People's Republic and find out the information, if you do not trust Richard Nixon after the Pentagon Papers. I would advise you to go to the People's Republic of China, free territory, where you don't have that credibility gap because the government and the people are one.
Thanks for watching. This episode of Power to the Panthers podcast has been brought to you by Panther Prince Productions.